Now back to Making a Difference, only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.
Okay, so now we're back on Making a Difference. For those who are just tuning in right now, welcome to Making a Difference. Again, this is a show created to inspire and motivate the youth of today. My name is Erika Mison, and I am your host for Making a Difference. So before we went on break, I introduced some of the people who work for Lockdown Cinema Club. So this is an online initiative that began um, during ECQ. So they actually have two parts of the initiative. So they have the where they show free films, and that's what we talked about. We talked about the live script reading and what they would show. And now we are going to talk about more on the donation side of Lockdown Cinema Club. So I'd like to call back Mackie, Galvez, and Patricia Sumagui again to the screen. So they work for Lockdown Cinema Club. Now, as I mentioned, may two parts yung Lockdown Cinema Club. We talked about the shows that were shown during ECQ and the live script reading. So now we could talk about more on the donation side of Lockdown Cinema Club. So maybe you can explain what you guys did and the story again behind the donation side of Lockdown Cinema Club.
I guess, yeah, kami ni Pat kasi yung in charge sa pera and sa pag-disburse.
So I guess you're the perfect
ako yung tiga-collect, si Pat yung tiga-pamigay. Yung learning curve, the biggest thing that we had to decide kasi was when we were gonna start the initiative was ano ba yung aid, what kind of aid were we gonna give? So it ranged from the different options of canned food ba? Are we gonna give canned food? Are we gonna give people money? Is the money gonna be physically transported to them? Things like that. So when we decided on digital transactions, kasi we decided on digital transactions kasi we didn't know yet kung mag-i-ease up yung restrictions of travel and things like that. So we decided on going purely cashless. So we got donations online through our initiatives nga, donated through BPI, BDO, GCash, and other credit card means. Kaya nakakuha din kami ng donations from abroad. And then as we collected money, and so we were giving so as we collected money, we were adding to a list. So we called it our master list of the workers who were asking for aid. So that's another department ng lockdown, those in charge of fielding requests for help. And then which Pat is part of as well. And then, yun. Tapos namigay na kami ng pera. Sila Pat na yun.
Actually, sobrang thankful kami sa UP students na nag-volunteer. Kasi sila yung sobrang tumulong sa amin to collect. Siyempre, kung kami-kami lang yung magbe-message, sobrang kagulo. So, itong mga volunteers na mga students, well, hanggang ngayon, may kausap pa naman namin sila. Masaya pa naman kami magkakausap. Sila yung nag-forward ng mga messages sa mga tao. Kasi technically, whenever we get names, kunwari ako as a producer, I talk to other producers. We make a group chat. And then sila yung mag-vouch for these people. And then, ngayon, pag nakuha namin yung names na yun, isa-isahin nang i-message ngayon ng mga bagets yun. They will ask, for GCash account, BPI account, ano ba, how do we reach to you? I mean, how do we give you the money? Tapos, ayun, as in, sobrang daming, sobrang daming kwento na talagang, ikaw lang maiiyak ka. Kasi grabe din yung I mean,
Kasi
sobrang liit
nakaka-overwhelm.
na bagay. Sobrang liit na, oo, sobra. Hindi kasi
Nakaka-overwhelm
sa
na ang
ngayon,
daming
isipin mo, how
tao.
can I help? Mm-mm.
So parang as Pat was saying kanina before the break, na we didn't actually have any idea kung ilang tao matutulungan namin sa simula. Until umabot na kami sa 1,500 by the end of it. So we had to grow then our parang our volunteer pool to accommodate that number. And the UP film students really did save us there.
Mm-mm. I-shout out to the mga
Oo,
UP
so
students.
they helped us sa Excel. As in, kasi minsan hindi mo na matatrack kung may nagdodobleng mo. Promise, sobrang laking enlightenment ng ginawa ng mga batang ito. Sa pagtulong sa amin, paano gumawa ng formulas. That's really a big help. I mean, kaya kami, we're also, well, minention naman namin sa kanila, they can actually tell their profs naman na ito na yung internship nila.
Wow.
And also, syempre, dahil in the future, magiging filmmakers din naman itong mga batang ito. They can always reach out to us. We'll be more than willing to help them kung ano mang kailanganin. So, yun. Kasi, sino-sino pa ba magtutulungan? It's just us. Sa ngayon, it's just really us. And in fairness, dahil nakuha namin yung names nitong mga, well, we're focusing merely dun sa people who earn 2,000 and below, ha. Sila talaga yung focus ng Lockdown Cinema Club na initiative. Nakagawa ng registry. As in, nakagawa ng registry dahil nakakolekta kami nitong names na nasa amin. Na people, nagulat din kami, ang dami kong hindi nakilala, hindi ko pa naman nakasama. Pero lahat sila parang napagsama-sama namin, and then may nagawa na kaming registry for these people kasi freelance na nga kami. Tapos wala pa kaming listahan ng kung sino-sino kami, 'di ba? Parang ang lungkot naman na masyado noon. Ayun, as in araw-araw 'yan. Araw-araw kami nagme-message kung kailan namin mapapadala. In fairness naman, ang bilis din naman ng mga tao. Sige po, gagawa kami ng GCash account. So feeling namin kami yung nagpalag. There was a time na yung GCash, sobrang naglalag na siya. Feeling talaga namin parang kagagawa namin kasi grabe na yung paggamit namin ng app na yan. Sana bigyan kami ng GCash ng 1 year na Hindi ko alam.
GCash, baka naman. But sorry to sidetrack, but speaking of GCash, gamit na gamit ngayon si GCash nowadays.
Oo. Kasi umabot sa point na may mga kasama kami na nabigyan namin ng help, ng financial help. Hindi na nila kailangan in-cash. Diretso sila sa bilihan, sa Pure Gold, for example. Yeah. Oo, yun na yung pambayad nila. So, it helps and parang hindi na sila, wala ng contact or whatsoever. Diretso na. And yun nga, in fairness naman, sobrang sorry,
Mackie.
Mackie.
We're able now to, so now even sa work, even sa actual shoot, it's now an option of pay. So rather than having to physically pick up a check or open a bank account, a payroll account, kinoconsider na siya ngayon ng mga producers since na-prove ng Lockdown Cinema yung advantage of cashless transactions.
Yes.
So baka naman GCash, no?
Oo nga eh. They're all over our PubMats eh.
Oo naman. Okay. So going back, you mentioned yung mga UP students, no? Were you the ones ba who approached them or sila yung nag-approach sa Lockdown Cinema Club?
I think it was twofold. Actually, what's funny was that the UP students were already building a list of workers who needed help by the time we approached them. So nauna na sila, they already had something in mind. So what we did actually was, since they were building the list already, is we decided na why don't we partner with them and use their list as well. So sobrang astig kasi in fairness din sa kanila talaga, a lot then of the writing of the materials came from them. A lot of the ideas came from them also. So they were really ahead of everyone.
Galing, no? They're one step ahead talaga. Galing,
Super,
galing.
super.
Oo. So, uh, so now the donation drive of Lockdown Cinema Club is done na. Am I correct?
Yeah, we
Yeah.
closed it na. We internally we decided to stop the list at 1,500
Mm.
people, and then we were actually able to, from the original 2,000, we were actually able to extend the to add to the initial 2,000 cash aid. We were able to actually give 3,000 pesos per person.
Wow.
Kasi we were able to raise about 4.7 million pesos, I think, by the end of
Maybe
the.
they can show 4.7.
Yeah, we have the we raised that final amount. And then kaya nga si Pat nga mentioned nga na sobrang iba-ibang klaseng feelings when people would donate, kasi si Pat nga was saying that someone donated 40 pesos to us before, and then there were some individuals then within the industry and out who donated 500,000, some donated 100,000. But sobrang meaningful kasi nung, and then may mga donations din na may centavos, like someone donated like 251 pesos and 30 centavos.
Wow.
Yung theory namin internally is yun na lang yung balance na naiiwan sa GCash niya. So we feel na dinonate na lang niya in full. Parang ganun. So in a span of I think 9 weeks, naka 4.7M kami, something
Wow.
like that.
Congratulations, you guys, by the way. Galing. I'm sure you've helped so much people. I think, there we go. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
4.7. Yeah, no, may 0.08.
Gusto ko talaga, grabe kayo mag-donate, ha? Yung mga, next time, sige, mag-donate din ako.
Oo, as in, meron pa mga nagsasabi pa na, pasensya na kayo, ito lang yung, alam ko may ganung message, Mackie, na parang, pasensya na kayo, ito lang yung kaya kong i-donate.
Yeah.
May pwede ka kasing maglagay ng message eh. So kami naman, parang, guys, walang problema. Kung hanggang, help is help. No amount na kailangan na ididikta sa inyo kung ano yung dapat yung ibigay. Giving is kung ano lang kaya.
Oh, exactly. So, super agree ako dun. No, there's no small amount. Parang there's no right amount. The fact that you made that move, you made that step to donate, diba? That's a big help, especially sa industry ninyo, which we'll talk about later on because I want to hear your thoughts. But anyways, maybe you could share kahit a short story or experience while working with this donation drive. Na this experience you'll remember na even like years after, okay, this is what happened to me, this is what I felt during that period. Like kahit like a short story or like something you will remember na.
Ako talaga, it was the 40 peso. Ako talaga, it was really that 40 peso donation. Kasi I'm in charge kasi of accounting for that. And when I saw the 40 peso donation, you really understand that in some way we were able to inspire someone to give whatever amount he or she could have given. I think that's and then considering then that all of the films that were shown were shown for free and given to us for free, all the actors that we worked with, the directors that we worked with, lahat yan for free nila ginawa. It gives value. The 40 pesos parang in its own little way means more than the actual amount. So sobrang important sa akin yun. Nung linalog ko yung 40 peso donation.
kay Mackie kasi, more of siya yung tumatanggap ng donation. Pero since ako yung nagbibigay ng donation, as in, siguro, para na akong santo. Ma'am, bless you po. Bless you and your family, ganyan. Diyos ko, kung sabi ko, baka naman hanggang sa kaapu-apuhan ko na ipagdasal na nila sa sobrang tuwa nila. As in, basta, as in, grabe, parang kang artista. Kung kapag, sabi ko talagang sabihin ko, kuya, pasensya na po, napakaliit lamang. Hindi, malaki na pong tulong nito. As in, marinig ko yon yung ganong gratitude. Kasi, may iba kasi parang ang medyo, hindi ko as in, sa 1,500 na yon, siguro, pagpalagay natin may mga ilan-ilan na medyo, nakakatuwa ka, no? Ganon. Pero, mostly, oo, ma'am, may isa kasi may nag-message. Ang tagal naman po, kailangan ko na pong bumili ng diaper ng anak ko. Parang ako gusto ko siyang replyan. Kuya, huwag po diaper ang bilhin natin. Bumili po tayo ng gatas. Yan po ang kailangan ng anak niyo. Hugas-hugas na lang po muna. Pero yung iba, in fairness, mostly, pagpalagay mo ng 1,500, 1,490. Yung 1,490 na yon, ma'am, thank you po. Hindi sila nagmamadali. Walang anything. Tapos kung kailan dumating, ma'am, sobrang malaking thank you. Actually, yung makatanggap ka lang ng ganon every time. Tapos hindi nila makalimutan yon. Kasi, I think, ang pandemic, pag ganito kahirap yung sitwasyon, you don't remember naman kung sino yung nang away sa'yo or what eh. Ang naalala mo kung sino yung nandyan nung sobrang kailangan mo. And ang weird, pero hanggang ngayon na nag-close kami ng donations namin, pero nag-upload pa rin kami ng mga things. Yung mga comment sections namin parang overflowing ng love and gratefulness. So, I think yun yung best experience na dito sa Lockdown Cinema Club.
Okay, thank you for sharing yung mga, but yeah, yun nga yung mga small, they're not really small per se, but yun, every move, every donation, it still counts talaga. So, ano na yung next steps for Lockdown Cinema Club? May mga future plans ba kayo? Or, is it still I know the donation side is medyo tapos na. But for Lockdown Cinema Club as a whole.
As an entity, it seems like there are plans to evolve it into another initiative or another body. But as things are starting to open up again and things like that, hinahanap pa si Carl Chavez kasi is actually one of the founders of Lockdown, if not the spark of the group. So we turn to him actually a lot when thinking about like where does Lockdown go from here. There's a lot of ideas being thrown around, like maybe it can be a welfare organization already.
Yeah.
Since we have the database, we have the operations for it. Right now, since we were able to close our donation drives, people within Lockdown are taking time for themselves also, since it's hard times din naman for us. So it took a lot out of us emotionally. Then getting requests for aid wasn't really easy, personally. Then for a lot of us, it takes a lot out of you then. So nag-slow down ang lockdown. We wanted to close it then and give ourselves a breather.
Yeah.
But knowing the resilience din nila Pat, nila Carl, and everybody else, Ilsa, Alem, in the group, I think this isn't the last naman you'll hear from us as a collective. Marami pa naman ata kami gustong i-prove.
Right.
Actually, not to, pero ang dami pang kailangan tulungan. More than the proving part, you just want to always be able to help. Kasi ikaw ako as an individual noon, nung mag-lockdown, hindi ko naman alam kung anong gagawin ko eh. paano ako makakatulong. Not until biglang may group. Kasi it makes it easier. Finally, meron akong way. Ngayon, I think ang moving forward, we're discussing how we can help yung mga students na hindi makaka-enroll. Paano ba kami makakapag-create content paano para maging useful din sa kanila. Parang doon kami ngayon to try mag-side. Kasi sayang, buo kami ng buo na kami. May director kami, may producer kami, may cinematographer kami, may editor kami, may production designer kami. Buo kami as a group, as a production house. So kung sakaling kailangan ng mga ganong klase na teaching materials, kung wala talagang para sa mga remote areas na walang internet, yun, baka we were trying actually to look into it and to study it, paano namin siya gagawin.
Mm-mm. Okay. I forgot to ask pala, no? How did the both of you pala get involved? Are you all like friends or parang you've worked together?
Yeah, actually we
Friends
have.
kami ni
Naging
Mackie.
producer ka na yan si Pat. But actually, funnily enough, sa lockdown cinema of the names that we mentioned, I don't think we've all been physically in the same room together ever. As a complete entity, yeah. We've seen each other. Some I only meet in parties, some I only meet in premieres.
Okay.
Ilan si Pat and a few lang si Mao, our production designer. Sila lang yung mga nakatrabaho ko actually. But yeah, si Pat and I, we worked together on a bunch of films already before.
Okay. And then how did you get into Lockdown Cinema Club?
I'm part of a cinematographers guild. That's been active for a while now. And then I guess when people want to reach out to things that are industry related, parang nagiging hotline na ako. Nagiging help desk na ako for that. So we were already thinking of something as a guild. But then very, very, sobrang hinog pa ng idea, wala pa siyang form until pumasok yung lockdown. And then we partnered up with them. So actually, as the president of that guild, our biggest achievement is we actually got the help of Matthew Libatique. He's a cinematographer in the States, half Pinoy. He's actually the DOP of Black Swan, Iron Man 1 and 2. Mother. So we contacted him. He actually reached out. Siya nag-reach out pala over Instagram. He reached out and then we held a live Q&A session with him. Tapos that's when we got a bunch of international donations.
Yun. Yeah, but that helps. I mean, okay, he's such a big name. The movies that you named are pretty big. I mean,
super. Medyo big deal siya. Tsaka idol siya ng mga cinematographers here in the country kasi nga he's half Pinoy. He's full-blooded Pinoy pala. But just raised in the States.
Ayun.
Full-blooded.
Doon lang lumaki. So may accent na yun. Okay, yes.
Yeah, super.
Ano yung last niya, Mackie? Yung kay Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Yung kay Lady Gaga.
Ano yun? Stars Born?
Yeah.
Stars
Born.
Stars.
That's his
Born.
But okay siya. Wow! Okay, so syempre, okay, pati ako, nasa Stars.
Yeah, nasa YouTube natin siya. You can watch the interview. He's a pretty cool guy.
Okay, sige. Okay, sige, mamaya ako. Lockdown Cinema Club.
Time suck yun. Ang dami naming content. Hours and hours of content.
Okay, sige. I will look into that. I'm curious na rin. But okay, we are gonna go on break ulit. But when we come back, we are going to talk to these two. Medyo more on the personal level naman, mga thoughts nila on the industry. So we'll be right back after these few announcements.
We'll be back shortly, making a difference. Only here on V81 Radio, South Manila.